Hey guys, and welcome back to Story Time. It's your old bird here with you. Gonna hang out with you today and spend a little time just hanging out, talking with you, and being old. And also, we're going to discover a few things here in Fallout 3. If you remember from last time, we're in Grey Ditch, where these big ants that blow fire are wandering around everywhere. And Brian is over in the house, or the little shelter over there. Brian's dad is dead. We found that out. We still have to give him that news. But we're in the house across the street. Brandis's house. And this was one of Brian's friends when he lived here. And upstairs we have a computer. Now we're going to learn a few things about the guy who lived here. And they're quite interesting. I want you to see this, because this, I believe it's going to be interesting, especially for later. Gotcha! Alright. Okay, so, here we go. Brandis, W. Brandis personal notes. Now let's see, which is the earliest? Okay, it starts from... No, it starts from here, and they go up. Okay, so sometimes they're in a weird order. Sometimes the earliest one's at the top, and sometimes it's at the bottom, so you have to really look. Okay, so anyway, start with the early one. I finally found a quiet place for my family. We've been running from the settlement to the next, from one settlement to the next, just trying to keep out of sight. Now that I'm on the other coast, I feel much safer. It says I feel much safer, but I'm sure it's supposed to mean much. The family across the way from us seems pretty decent. Their kid Brian likes to play with my son, which is great. It's hard for Will to make friends because we haven't stayed in one place for long enough. Maybe we can finally put down some roots here in Grey Ditch. Next one. I was scavenging for some of the nearby buildings for junk to sell, and I came across a working radio. No sooner did I turn it on than I heard the familiar patriotic anthems they used to play whenever Richardson would give a speech. But this was different. Who the hell is President Eden? When did that happen? Are they on this coast too? Most importantly, will they come looking for me? I hope this journey isn't a huge mistake. So it seems like he's on the run from somebody and something. Okay, so 11/15/2276. Some scientist named Lesko moved in with the Wilkes family across the street. They're helping him make some sort of structure on the old lot near the diner. Lesko offered to pay me caps if I helped, but I declined. I don't know who he is working for, but I don't think they're still looking for me. Our supplies are running low, and I need to begin foraging for food and some better drinking water. I also have an easier time of it if it wasn't for the damn ants. I swear they have a nest around here somewhere. Uh-oh, the ants have shown up February 24th. 2277. These ants are becoming a real pain in my assholes. So much that I had to take a trip to Megaton and buy a better gun to protect my family. It cost me a small fortune. I had to trade every bit of ant meat I had collected, but it was worth it. I'm teaching Frank and Sheila to use it just in case something happens to me. If one of you two are reading this and I'm gone, I keep the gun in the kitchen behind the old fridge. Oh, that's an interesting little tip. Okay. April the 2nd. I'm going to have to find a better way to protect Sheila and Will from those ants. Ever since Lesko came to town, I'm certain they're getting more and more aggressive. Wasteland ants are bad enough, but at least you can run away from them. These would seem to pursue you to the ends of the earth if they could. Call me crazy, but I swear I saw one start a fire the other day. I don't know how this could be happening. I decided to dig up my old sidearm and keep it hidden on me at all times. If those things get too close, I'll blast the antenna right off their ugly heads. That's another clue, by the way. Antenna, if you shoot their antenna off, that's like a pretty critical spot for them to hit them. And finally, June 17th. I can't believe I went through all that trouble to leave Navarro and make my way across the country just to get stuck in this shithole. I'll be damned if I'm gonna die here. Now that we're cut off from Lesko and Wilkes, I think we're on our own. The damn ants keep trying to find a way to get inside the house. Even as I'm typing this, I can hear them scraping the walls and looking for a way through. I don't know how much longer we can last. So, that was the fate of them. However, I think you're going to find it interesting later. Because I don't think that guy's dead. I think he's moved somewhere else. And, even though they don't quite say it, but they do heavily hint at it. Anyway, I'm gonna go and look for some things. I'm gonna scavenge around a little bit and see if there's anything else here in good old Grey Ditch. There's some buildings. There's an ant. Hi, ant. Coming after me, are you? Well, now you're not. Okay, let's go up here. Today I have a story for you that, honestly, I haven't wanted to tell. Because it's kind of a touchy story. But the reason I haven't talked about it very much, I think I may have mentioned it, a couple times here and there, maybe on an old 2 Cents episode or something like that, but I haven't gone in at length because I always figure that if I just leave it alone and don't talk about it, then maybe the person involved will just forget about it and move on. However, no matter how long I don't talk about it, it's still a deal. And that's unfortunate, but I think at this point I should say something about it, so I'm going to.
Sure is hot in here.
But we're gonna go in here and talk to Brian first.
Come on, tell me already.
Right. I think I have some bad news for you, dude.
Oh no. What happened?
I'm sorry, but your father's dead.
He's dead?
Yeah, he's pretty dead. He's doornail.
I'm too tired to cry anymore.
I'll stop whoever started this. Fine, I'll take care of you. Or everything. Why don't you just forget it and clear on out of here? My part of this is all done. Sorry, kid. People die all the time out here. Get used to it. I'm gonna stop whatever started this.
You've gotta stop it, so this can't happen to anyone else's family ever again. I wish I had met you a long time ago. And then maybe my dad would still be alive. Thanks for doing all this. I'm feeling better now that you're here.
Hey, don't get too attached, okay? Alright, remove the ant source. Deliver the bad news to Brian Wilkes. I did that. Okay, remove the source of the fire ants.
If you look around enough in Grey Ditch, you might find some useful stuff people left behind.
Alright, well, you're gonna stay here for now. Anyway, I want to tell you guys about... Where is it? I hear you. Oh, you're a big one, aren't you? Okay, you're done. Shut up! You know, before I start this, we should really go in here and look around here. This is where the Dr. Lesko, set up and was doing experiments. Password recording. Let's listen to this.
This could be the 5th time I've forgotten the code to my desktop terminal. I really must learn to be more organized. The password for my terminal is Formicidae. How hard could that be for me to remember?
Ha!
Note to self, destroy this holotape as soon as move to new lab is complete.
Okay, so... well, now we can get into his computer. There was a Bobot here. Let's see, we got anything else that's useful around here? Oh, you know what? I also forgot to get the gun out from behind... No. Out from behind the fridge. I need to do that. Okay, let's check this out first. Okay. Activate science robot. Error, pod empty. Science robot command input. Error, robot out of range. Personal notes. Okay. Where did I... Dangers, I think... I realize the dangers involved in tampering with nature. I've heard the rhetoric and the hoopla about playing God. However, I'm determined to reduce these poor things back to their original state when they were harmless. Only through genetic recoding is this possible. All that I needed is a proper test subject. My research continues as I tweak the formula. Okay, we're talking about the ants here, I'm sure. I found a perfect specimen. Ooh, investigate Marigold Metro Station and remove the source of fire. Okay. I've set up shop underground. For now, while I prepare the experiment, all I need is a bit of last-minute programming on my robot, and it'll be ready to perform the delicate injections. Soon, I will prove to everyone that my formula is a viable alternative to the destruction of these misunderstood beings. Where did I go wrong? Ha! Great title. Batch A27 is a complete failure. I must return to my original formulas and begin the process all over again. Perhaps the pressure of working in these conditions without proper laboratory equipment is to blame. Perhaps I simply didn't splice the correct genetic instructions, or perhaps I am fatigued. Whatever the case may be, A27 is proving to be a disaster. I must introduce my new formula soon, or I may not be alive to see my hypothesis come to fruition. Okay, and that's pretty much what we got there. Anyway, so I'm going to tell you about a friend that I had. We met online, and this was years ago, like near 20 years ago. And he's an artist, and he had a great sense of humor, and we talked. And is it back here? There it is. Ah, is that all? And over a couple of years, we turned out to be pretty good friends. And we really enjoyed hanging out with each other. I talked to him all the time, online. This was in the late 90s, I think. Well, he was cool. He was a cool guy. Seemed to be, pretty happy dude. Come on. You got to die, bitch. This one's taking too many shots. Oh. Well, at one point, he lost his job where he was working, and he wanted to move. At the time, I lived in Arkansas, and, you know, there were some furries that lived over there, and he wanted to come over, and he wanted to move in, you know, into somewhere in Arkansas, in my town, and hang out. And I thought, hey, cool, you know, my friend's gonna come over and live with, you know, I'll be able to hang out with him. Oh, that one didn't get you. Now you're real slow, huh? You gotta turn around and run away, huh? Okay, now we gotta... Okay. In your face. In your face. So... After living there for a little while, he didn't live there long, he only lived there like 9 months or so. Well, he started acting funny. And, by funny, I mean that he'd say weird things, you know, like, if he'd be looking at a picture on the wall, oh god, he'd be looking at a picture on the wall and you were standing behind him, and then he'd turn around and, he'd look at you and he'd say, were you doing something behind my back? And it'd be like, no? You sure you weren't flipping me off or anything? No. I wasn't. Okay. And he'd do weird things like, he'd get quiet all of a sudden. We'd be having a conversation and he'd get real quiet, and then he'd say, you know, it was like he was bothered by something. And we'd say, what's up, dude? You okay? And he'd say, you remember, like, last Thursday when you said, hey, nice weather today, isn't it? And I said, well, not, you know, no, I don't really remember that because it was a week ago and it's a pretty normal thing to say. He said, well, we said that. And I'm like, okay. And he'd say, what did you mean by that? And I thought, okay, this is odd. And I noticed he started to take little things that would happen, and he'd add all this weird meaning to it, this sort of conspiratorial meaning to it, and he started getting weirder and weirder all the time. one time we opened the door, and he was sitting on our front porch, and his car wasn't there. Well, it turns out he'd been sitting on the porch for 4 hours, and he parked his car around the corner. He parked his car about 2 blocks away and then walked to the house and was sitting there. And it's like, well, dude, why did you do that? Why didn't you just park in the driveway like you always do? It's like, oh, I didn't want anybody to know I was here. Okay. Well, he started really taking some crazy meanings from things, like stuff that you would never, it was starting to concern me. It really was. Because, and it started to sound almost paranoid to me a lot of times. Oh boy, something's in here. Should I go in there or do I have to? But I don't know. I'm gonna go in there. Well, I'm gonna shoot this guy first. Oh God. Just cut it out, ant. Can I shoot him in the antenna? Where's the antenna? I can't even see his antenna. Okay. Let's give him a few shots here. There we go. I'm still on fire, dude. Whoa, hey. Alright, you got to go. Well, after a few months, you know, we were worried about this guy because he was really acting paranoid around us. And, one day he just packed up and left. He just left. He was gone. We didn't know where he went, but we went over to his place, and he wasn't there anymore. He'd moved out. He just packed up in the middle of the night and just moved. And that was the last I've seen the guy. Even to this day, I haven't seen him since then. However, later, maybe a year or so later, he started sending me emails. And in his emails, he was talking about, oh, come on. In his emails, he would talk about, he was very angry with me. And he would talk about, like, cameras that I had set up to watch him and people that I had sent to follow him around. And he said a bunch of stuff about me being a werewolf or something. I don't quite remember all the things that he said, but they were really weird. I mean, he thought I was sending people out to follow him around. He thought that that I'd spread rumors about him in the furry fandom, and that's why nobody in the furry fandom liked him or something. And I thought, whoa, this is really crazy. Well, he started making threats to me, and he was very careful about it, because he wouldn't directly say that he was going to kill me. He didn't directly ever say that, but boy, he really walked the line on saying that. You know, he'd say, oh, don't worry, you're going to get yours, and he started making public threats, you know, saying things like, don't worry, he's going to get his, he's going to get, you know, I'm going to get my revenge, you're going to see it in the news. He said that before. He's said, you know what causes mass murders? 2 causes mass murders. He said things that are very, very close to threats. But not quite. And, no, the really sad thing is that after nearly 20 years, and I want to remind you, I've not had any personal interaction with this guy at all. I barely even thought about him, you know, until something pops up. Oh God, where'd he go? Come on over here. Yeah, follow me out here where I can actually get a good shot at you. But still, to this day, he's still making threats. He still thinks I'm following him around, or that I've sent people to follow him around. And there's nothing I can do about it, because when anybody is ever mean to him online, or says something bad about him, he thinks that I'm the one that told him to do it. Every time somebody's mean to him, or especially, there's a lot of people that tell him, because it's fairly obvious that he needs, you know, some professional help. Well, every time somebody says that he needs professional help, that's exactly what I told him. So he thinks that I told them to say that to him. He thinks I'm behind everything, every failure, every job that he didn't get because of some reason, every friend that he's lost. He thinks that I'm the one behind that I caused that somehow. And there's nothing you can do to convince him otherwise. And to this day, he still threatens me. I don't know if he ever will do anything. But to be honest, one reason I'm telling this story is because if I turn up murdered somewhere, I want there to be some kind of record of this, so that, you know, people will know what happened. He's highly paranoid schizophrenic. And, oh boy. And, honestly, it's very unfortunate. I did not realize at the time, because, no, at first, he seemed very normal. He seemed just like a normal, nice guy, and when he's not talking about me, he still does. He still seems like a normal guy. Until you get him going on me. And then he starts just rambling about this crazy stuff. I even had, one night I had a dream. And, in this dream, there was a computer. And, the computer just, I tried to tell it to do something. And just this one big word flashed on the screen. It said no. And it was really scary in the dream, because it felt like the computer had become self-sentient or something like that. And at the time I was experimenting with making CGI. So I made a CGI picture of this computer with a big word on the screen saying no. Well, he found that picture, but he thought that it was a response to him. He thought that it was a personal response to him about something that he wanted to do, or I don't know. And he really got mad at me about that, because he thought it was about him. He's seen drawings online that depict, like, I remember one time he saw a picture of a fat, it was a big old fat dragon that had a t-shirt on that said something, I can't remember what it said, but it struck him the wrong way, and he thought that I had commissioned someone to make that picture, to make fun of him. And it just goes on, and it has gone on and on for like 20 years. This guy thinks that I have spent 20 years of my life focused on him and his, and the next way to make him suffer, and the next, you know, way I can possibly tear his life up. And there's literally nothing I can do about it. There's nothing I can say that'll change his mind. We had it was many years ago, it was like maybe 10 years back. We had this back and forth in email, and there's nothing that I can do. He won't even tell me what it is that I've done to him anymore, because he thinks it's an insult. He thinks that because he thinks I obviously know the things I'm doing to him. So, and just by asking him to repeat them and say, well, what I've done, I'm just patronizing him. I'm just mocking him. So I don't know a lot of the things that he's even thinks that I've done, because he won't tell me. And apparently I've heard from other people that when they ask him what I did to him, he now just says, well, go and ask 2 about that. And I can't tell them, because I don't know. I don't know what he accuses me of anymore. The things that he's said I've done over the years, sometimes they've changed. Sometimes there'll be new ones pop up that weren't there before. And honestly, it's just a really sad situation. And I just want more than anything for him to seek help. I want for him to go get professional help. But he doesn't think, as many paranoid schizophrenics are, he doesn't believe that he needs any help. He doesn't know that he's sick. And he just thinks that, you know, when people tell him that he needs professional help, he just thinks they're trying to insult him. So, there's nothing really anyone can do. Oh! But anyway, I guess if there's any kind of message to this, it's that, you know, mental illness, it's not a joke, because, to be honest, I feel a lot of sympathy for this guy, because, I mean, imagine if what he thought was real. I mean, he's being tortured all the time. Now he thinks I've done it. He thinks I'm responsible. I'm not, but it doesn't matter whether I am or not. He still feels that, that pain all the time. That torture. And it's a shame because, honestly, from what I remember of the guy, he was a good guy. He doesn't deserve, you know, he doesn't deserve all this. He doesn't deserve to be under constant torture all the time. And yet he is, because of mental issues. And, he won't seek help. And there's no one that can make him. And I don't know. I kind of, something makes me hope that, and I know there's a terrible thing to hope, but I hope that he does do something. Whoa boy, wrong way to go. I hope that he does do something like stupid. I hope he does something stupid and maybe illegal. If for any reason, if for just one reason, and that would be to, because I imagine if he gets arrested and they talk to him, they're gonna see that he's got problems, and maybe they'll actually force him to go to a psychologist and get evaluated, and that might actually help him. But that's the only hope that I can think of that might do any good at all. Anyway, that's a sad story. It is kind of a sad story, but you know, if you have seen or do see, you know, someone on the internet and they're talking like this and they're making these accusations against me, well, it's probably that person, and that's the story behind it. So I wish there was more I could do. I really do. But there's just not. Where are you? There, yeah. Throw that bitch. Zing! Did it? Oh, come on. Wait, did I blow him up? No, I did not blow him up because it hit that thing. Oh god, what happened? What did I do? Oh. Okay, okay. Now. Let's wait. Come on. Oh, if I blow this up. Hold up. That's gas down there. Okay, come on around here, Ant. There we go. Now, you are toast now. Because, you're gonna burn even if you don't. Oh! Oh gosh. That, you know, these are not very effective against those ants. Let's find something else. Maybe, I could laser pistol this thing. Is that gonna work? Where is it? Oh boy. Okay, now that sucks even more. Okay. Let's see here. We gotta find a good... Oh! Combat shotgun is pretty good, but that's more close range. Oh, hey! I didn't realize I had two of these. Hang on. Fixed. Okay. Maybe a sniper rifle would be okay. Let's try that. Oh, he's gonna come around the corner, and he's gonna flame me, and I'm gonna... It's going to hurt. Come on. Come on. Oh, there he is. Shit. Why can't I shoot this guy? Or rather, why is he not dying? I am shooting him. Okay, there he goes, finally. Boy, you were a tough one, buddy. I'm trying to get to the end of this. There's a lot of ants in here. Maybe I ought to just start avoiding the ants and running around them and juking them instead of actually shooting them all. Because I don't think there's actually an end to them. So that is if I can juke them. All right, where are we at? Oh, I think we made it. Is this it? All right.
Well, you startled me. You really mustn't creep up on people like that.
Well, I did it, and what are you gonna do about it? Yeah?
That is precisely why this is the ideal place for my work. Do you realize you're trampling about in a delicately balanced and highly sensitive experimentation area?
Did you realize I don't give a crap? Experiments? What do you mean?
My experiments are of a complex nature and would take a scientist to explain. Oh wait, I'm a scientist. How marvelous. My foray into reducing the girth of these insectoid creatures is of utmost importance. I intend to generationally reduce their immense stature by way of a pre-birth induced mutagen. Isn't that clever?
Yeah, absolutely. I see you're trying to make them smaller over time by injecting the eggs.
My word, you understand perfectly.
Of course I do.
Marvelous.
So what's gone wrong?
Well, I'm afraid I made slight miscalculations in the mutagen. Instead of lowering their size, the brood hatched with a new biomechanism. I call their genetic aberration pyrosis, the ability to emit flame from their bodies.
Well,
I may be able to correct this error, but I can't get near my equipment.
Shocked you didn't attempt this in a controlled environment because I'm intelligent.
Your knowledge of experimental procedure surprises me. Indeed, I have skipped a step and directly modified an entire brood. Perhaps I was too hasty. I was so certain it would work. To correct this mistake, I'll need to get to my terminal to modify the mutagen.
Let's see. Well, what can I do to help?
Since you've offered, allow me to elaborate. My portable terminal is set up in the hatchery chamber near the Ant Queen. If I can reach it, I can continue to work on improving the mutagen.
Let's see. If the queen's your concern, why not deal with it directly? Why not just kill the queen and be done with it?
If I were to do that, months of data would be lost. No, the queen must remain completely unharmed. Your objective would be to eliminate what I call her quintet of nest guardians. Filthy little abominations.
Okay. And just how will this undo the mayhem you've caused?
I've rigged the equipment at my portable terminal to emit what I call an inhibitor pulse. Once I send this pulse, all of the remaining ants will lose their empathic link with the queen and frenzy, destroying each other in the process. So, that's all there is to it. What do you say?
Oh, I guess so. Why not? If it'll stop the ants from burning down Grey Ditch, then yep.
You will? How marvelous. Be careful, my friend. The nest guardians can be quite tenacious.
Okay. Well, let's see. Eliminate all 5 nest queen guardians from the ant queen's hatchery. Optional, do not harm the queen. Let's see. Let's see. Let's talk to him about that stuff later.
Be ever vigilant. Those from the genus Solenopsis are not to be trifled with.
Okay. I will now come in here, close this door, and we got to go through here because that's where the nest queen or the ant queen's at. So that's where we're gonna go in the next episode. and we're going to talk with him a little bit more about, and ask him a few more questions about things. So, oh, there's another pistol. Yeah, give me that. All right. I can't sleep here. How dumb. Why won't you let me sleep here? I can take all your shit. It's funny, I can steal your shit, but I can't sleep here. That's stupid. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's little foray into ant murdering and crazy old friendships that I've had. I hope it's been pleasurable for you. And guys, we're gonna do this again next Sunday as always. And I will have some new things to tell you. Either that, or we'll just go and focus on the game, because it's gonna be pretty weird. So, guys, until the next story time, take care.